Excellence is continuous. It can be complex or simple. Each day is an open challenge to achieve success and turn adversity into opportunity. At RGF Executive Search Japan, we make winning a daily objective by aligning unique bilingual talents who invigorate organizations and drive sustainable growth. Excellence begins and ends with people. To execute your Japan recruitment relationship, contact us and let's begin.
Good evening and welcome to the Moderna Mindsets with Rami Suzuki, President of Moderna Japan. My name is Ryan Shepard from RGF Executive Search, and I will be your host this evening. Today's webinar is very exciting because it's not every year we get such a new and innovative biotech company entering Japan and then having millions of people line up to get doses of extremely innovative medicine. So today is really about that medicine, but also the potential for that to scale beyond just coronavirus and bringing great people together. Moderna Mindsets is a blueprint for doing just that. And so we're very lucky to have some of Rami's very precious time today to walk us through Moderna's vision, the mRNA technology, and the Moderna Mindsets so that it can help people understand if Moderna perhaps is a place that you might want to work with in the future. Just before we begin, one housekeeping note, and that is that once the Q&A opens, please note that your name is set to anonymous by default. If you wish, you can enter your name. That's up to you. So please take note of that before posting any Q&A, which will open about 15 minutes into the presentation. And then we will moderate a few of those questions for Rami in the second half of the webinar. So thank you very much, Rami, for being here. Quick introduction. Rami has a PhD from the University College London and has spent a large part of her career in new business development before leading the medical affairs division at a large European pharma company, and has been with Moderna since late last year as the president and representative director for Japan. So without further ado, thank you very much, Rami. Great to have you here, and over to you.
Thank you, Ryan. Do you hear me okay?
All good.
Good. But first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to those who joined us today, as well as Ryan for giving me this opportunity to connect. I'm joining from Karuizawa, my countryside home. The weather is beautiful. I hope it will stay this way for a few days. Okay, so allow me to share my slide. Do you see it okay?
I'm just sending live now. One moment. Okay, you're good to go.
Very good. So Moderna mindsets, where do they come from? Moderna, as you know, suddenly came into a spotlight. I don't think most people have heard of Moderna before COVID-19. From 800 people to 3,200 now. And we still, in a way, cannot believe what a journey we have gone through over the last 3 years. We did what probably most people thought as impossible. Looking back, we decided to analyze, how did we do it? How did we get here? How did we manage to provide vaccine so fast and to so many people? What were the mindsets? So this is looking back what we did, how we behaved, how we thought, how we engaged within the team, and also in order to pave our future with the same mindset so that we can continue to grow, continue to serve patients across the globe. Most of you probably do not know much about Moderna other than COVID-19 vaccine. So allow me to spend the first 10 minutes or so to explain to you what we are, what we do, what our future is. As Ryan said, what is beyond our COVID-19 vaccine. First of all, our mission is to deliver the promise of messenger RNA science. And our promise is to create a new generation of transformative medicines for patients. Messenger RNA is relatively new, but actually we have been at it for more than 10 years. We were incorporated in 2010 and steadily working to advance the science of messenger RNA. We believe we are the forefront and most experienced in the science of messenger RNA. This is a snapshot of how we are doing as of May 2022. Here you note that, how did that happen? And how do I bring that back? Let me work on that. Oh, good. So you see 46 development programs in our pipeline. 2 years ago, it was 23. Last year, 37. Earlier this year, 44. Our pipeline is expanding ever so fast. And that's the power of messenger RNA, and I will talk about that in greater details later. We are present in 11 countries commercially, and thanks to the success of COVID-19 vaccine, we are equipped with 19.3 billion cash and investment. Now, this money will be spent to advance our pipeline so that we can save more lives, we can protect more communities moving forward. We have today more than 700 platform research scientists. What we mean by platform research scientists, they do basic research in order to advance our messenger RNA platform. And with them, we also have a highly advanced digital capability that I will talk about later. And we are truly very cross-functional. Basically from the very basic research all the way to the commercial capability and various parts of the vaccines and programs we have, we do this in-house. So there is no CDA, there is no negotiation, there is no joint steering committees to potentially delay the progress of what we are doing with our pipeline. And most notably, we are a messenger RNA only company. We call messenger RNA an information molecule. Small molecules and large molecules like antibodies, in our mind, they are analog, whereas messenger RNA is digital. We are able to very rapidly sequence our program, our medicine. We believe that messenger RNA platform is still in its infancy of maximizing its potential. If we are to talk about the S-curve of growth, we are still closer to the beginning than what's possible in the future. A little bit about what our vaccine contains and what are the technical pillars of our product. Of course, messenger RNA, which is the sequence that enters into your cell and dictates your cell to form a specific protein. You know, messenger RNA isn't the medicine. It is actually a message to your own cells so that your own body can manufacture the proteins that your own immune system recognizes and protect yourself from the virus infection. In order to bring the messenger RNA safely and in a stable way, we use something called lipid nanoparticle, which is basically a form of lipid and comprises of various molecules, and wrapped around in lipid nanoparticle, LNP, the messenger RNA enters into the cell. "11 months is what it took for us to bring our vaccine. And this is considered astronomically fast compared to the conventional drug development. At the same time, we are becoming faster. As you know, we are launching our new vaccine this coming September. We have done our development and manufacture faster than 11 months. And the speed will continue to improve, I believe. Earlier, I mentioned about digital, messenger RNA being digital. What I mean by that is, so if you know what protein is to express, the step to create the messenger RNA sequence is all computerized. And it actually takes a minute, just a minute. And of course, we need to validate the process and do it a few times, and at the so it may take an hour, but that's as fast as it is. Conventionally, with small molecules, this would have taken months, if not years, of high throughput screening. We apply digital to everything. Of course, we're not 100% digital yet, but I am impressed how digital can bring us to the compounded effect. We get faster and better every day. It's hugely powerful. We have, in addition to infectious disease, applications to oncology, cardiovascular diseases, rare diseases, and autoimmune diseases. This is the snapshot of where we are with respiratory infectious diseases. Our vision is that in addition to COVID-19 vaccine, we can combine such vaccine with flu vaccine and RSV vaccine. That way, once a year, sometime in autumn or early winter, you get a shot, a single vaccine shot, and you're protected from various respiratory diseases, and you can continue to work and live a healthy life without the fear of being hospitalized or potentially dying from the disease of respiratory condition. As you may know, respiratory infection is the, one of the main causes of death, particularly in the elderly, but also in the young, it can be quite debilitating. With COVID-19, we also have long COVID, And the latest study shows that at any given time, 1 to 3% of the population is suffering from the effect of long COVID. So in addition to respiratory infection of the lungs, we have CMV vaccine, cytomegalovirus vaccine. This is very exciting and will be entering phase 3 in Japan this year too. This is to protect mothers-to-be. So women will be vaccinated, and if she is, she can protect her baby from getting CMV vaccine, a CMV infection. More babies are born than Down syndrome with hearing disability or some brain damage due to this CMV infection. And if we can vaccinate pregnant women before pregnancy, we can save so many lives. We also have various infectious disease vaccines, and for the interest of time, I will not talk all of it today. And these are the non-infectious disease pipeline. Allow me to draw your attentions to maybe two. One is something called personalized cancer vaccine, and this is in development with Merck, our partner. What it is that you have a patient with cancer and you take out cancer cells and normal cells from that patient, and you whole gene sequence both cancer cells and normal cells. And we compare the gene sequences and identify what's unique to cancer cells. We will create messenger RNA of these unique proteins and vaccinate the patient together with Keytruda, PD-1. So that way your immune system is encouraged to specifically attack your cancer cells. Now, we're going to have the readout of the phase 2 study this fall. If the study comes positive, I think it's going to be a total game changer in cancer care and treatment. The other interesting program is VEGF-A that we are developing with AstraZeneca. If you have myocardial infarction and you have heart muscle dying, you inject messenger RNA directly into your heart, and your heart muscles will then be regenerated. And that will also have a readout sometime this year. Again, if this becomes true, this is a major gate opener for various types of regenerative medicine, I believe. Very quickly, I'd like to mention one unique characteristic of messenger RNA. It is very simple to manufacture. We do not need as large machine as antibodies. These are the sketches of what sort of machines we need compared to larger molecules, and that's the human size. And we apply the same process, same equipment, same people, and 95% same raw materials to create all the pipeline programs I just discussed. And that is very simple, and that is a major enabler. So, Moderna values and mindset. First of all, we have Moderna values. We are bold, collaborative, curious, and relentless. I'm sure the people who are watching this lecture, you are all of those things, and I'm sure you know people who are all of these things. I said all because it just is. We're trying to be not just one. We need to be bold and collaborative and curious and relentless. And we apply these values so that we can build the best possible version of Moderna 20 years from now. And this is the 12 mindsets. Now, for the interest of time, I'm not going to go through all of them one by one. These are available in our website. If you go into our career tab, you will see this. You will also see some videos as well. But I can very much feel comfortable with these mindsets. And I must say, it feels like I have been the fish out of water for many years. Now at Moderna, and with these mindsets, I'm back in water again. I like urgency. I love learning. I am the owner of everything. I like to do things in parallel and push past possible. I hate viscosity. I do accept risk, although risk-taking isn't my forte. It is natural for me to question convention. And I enjoy working with dynamic range. Digital, I wish I am more digital, but the concept of making the life easier and simpler through the power of digital is something I passionately believe in. Last but not least, messenger RNA platform is going to change the trajectory of human health. From that perspective, I am so much driven and enthusiastic about our messenger RNA platform. In our website, you will see Stefan's video. Stefan is our CEO, and he's been the founder of Moderna from the start. I would very much like you to have a quick look at it. It's a short video, but you can see his passion and the vision through this short video. You will also see the videos of some of the mindset team members. Moderna is conducting workshop to discuss and explore these mindsets as a team. Typically, these are cross-functional and international team. I have participated one in Norwood, where our manufacture plant is. And we try to be as transparent as possible with those participants. You know, we can talk about which mindset do you feel that you're good at? Which mindset could be your development areas? And we often talk about our own strengths and also areas that we can improve as individuals as well as a team. These mindsets also give us the terminology that we share. So we can talk about viscosity. If something is not clear and it feels like a bottleneck and we are not sure where it comes from, we can use the word, I think this is a viscosity. Is there something we can do about it? Because we need to remove viscosity. In Japan, we did this last April in Saitama. We stayed overnight, so 2 full days to go through mindsets. And what we did was to translate our mindsets from English to Japanese. And my goodness, this was hard. Was powerful. And we also learned from each other how one English word could be translated into so many different Japanese words. This is Tracy Franklin, the head of HR at Moderna, and there is a Fortune article about our mindset. If you have a moment, please have a look. But as she said, every decision at Moderna, top to bottom, is guided by the Moderna mindset. Thanks to the success of Moderna team and thanks to all the supports of our partners, we are recognized as a company for growth, and we have been receiving various recognitions. I am very proud of the company, but I'm also proud of our partners. You know, as I mentioned, we have 46 pipeline products. We are not able to do all of them ourselves. In Japan, we're just under 30 of us. So we will do the development and the commercialization through various types of partnerships. Already, we are partnering with many companies in Japan, including RGF. So we believe that through partnerships, we can do much faster, much better, and much more effectively, so that together we can deliver on the promise of messenger RNA. Thank you.
Thank you, Rami, for a very colorful presentation and for taking what seems like extremely complex science and really simplifying that. It's amazing how you can change the information in 1 minute and how that can potentially impact lives of cancer patients with their unique gene codes and such. So thank you very much for that. Now, of course, Moderna, most of us probably associate with the pandemic, but clearly, truly an innovative biotech company in its purity. So where do you think Moderna would be today, or how would you describe Moderna's journey to becoming a prominent company in the industry if it wasn't for the pandemic?
I think if it wasn't for pandemic, we would be focusing on other infectious diseases as well as cancer, regenerative medicine, and rare diseases. These are the areas that we were working on before COVID-19. So basically, the pipeline I showed you earlier today, these were with us before COVID-19, and COVID-19 just came on top of it.
I see. And with the Japan market being perhaps more conservative than other industries, and not just the regulations, but also perhaps the social customs, how do you instill some of these values, like being bold on a day-to-day basis? How do you encourage your staff to pursue those bold ideas and perhaps unleash their potential in ways that they may not be accustomed to in other companies?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously recruit and attract talents who are bold and curious and collaborative and so on. So we have that screening process, the right cultural fit. But at the same time, once they join us, we use these words intentionally, frequently. And when we see good examples, we say, that was bold, or you're being curious, or thank you for being collaborative. Every day, many times a day. We also have an award system where people can recognize each other, sometimes with financial reward as well.
Okay, so really using repetition to instill those values on a daily basis and recognizing when those traits are being exhibited. Very interesting. And another one of our questions is particularly about influence. And you've come from smaller companies, larger companies, Japanese companies, gaishike or non-Japanese companies, both large and small, American, European, and Japanese. What are some of the things that you've taken from that career path that are now assets for you in Moderna?
Yeah, each of the companies I worked for has given me great opportunities for growth. So I'm most grateful. What's different in terms of Moderna is that I feel very natural, as I mentioned earlier. I feel myself. That's something unique for me. I also noticed that my team members, they seem pretty happy and true to themselves as well. We influence each other. I don't feel that I influence them. I get influenced all the time by you, by the employees, by patients, by doctors, by the government people we speak to. You know, one thing that made me surprised was the regulatory authority that we work with. They're very, very good, and they are very bold and collaborative. So the stereotypical Japanese conservatism, maybe we're changing.
Good. That's good to hear. Well, certainly the pandemic must have been working at some knots in the muscles in terms of bottlenecks in decision making and such. And another one of the questions that our viewers have is, you know, with COVID hopefully subsiding, but who knows what this fall will bring. But let's assume that COVID settles and that there isn't a need for more COVID back, you know, boosters, thirds and fourths and so on. How do you see Moderna's business evolving in Japan beyond COVID-19? What's next for Moderna?
Thank you. Scientifically and medically speaking, we believe that COVID-19 is something that will stay with us, and we need protection through vaccine. So it's a little bit difficult to answer your question. But hypothetically, if COVID-19 wasn't present in our history, then we are talking about the pipeline that we discussed. But one thing is that we believe that once a year vaccine, that strategy should become Moderna's main product offering in the near future. Maybe in 2-3 years' time, we will be providing vaccine that contains COVID-19, RSV, and flu, so that once a year you get the shot and you're protected.
Excellent. Thank you for highlighting that. And another one of our questions from a viewer is particularly around partnering. You've alluded to this a little bit in your presentation, but could you give us talk a bit more about the nature of the business and how partnering is going to be so key to your continued success and growth?
Yes. Let me give you an example. Having established Moderna late last year, we have been doing medical activities. So we could, oh, that's my dog barking. Sorry, do you hear it?
No worries.
Okay. So we conduct medical seminars, which are digital. So healthcare practitioners engage with us digitally, and the number of doctors we are attracting to our webinar is as big as like 40,000 per webinar. That's the power of digital engagement today. And that's the power of medical as well. So much interest. We can't do this by ourselves. So we have partnered with 3 medical digital companies who can help us do this. That's one example. We obviously working very closely with CRO, companies who provide MSLs, medical reps on contract basis. They are our important partners too. PMOs, legals, finance, you name it. We are really partnering wide for almost every function so that we can continue to remain lean.
Makes sense. Thank you. And speaking of lean, this is another question we've gotten several times from several viewers, and particularly viewers who are at some larger pharmaceutical companies, and that is, could you give us some insights as to what it's like working in a lean organization? What does that mean? How does that affect how you work, ways of working on a day-to-day basis? And for Moderna, what are some of the fundamentals that make Moderna a lean organization? For example, I know you have the health impact team. So could you maybe paint a picture of what that looks like for someone who hasn't experienced working in a lean organization before, and give us a bit more insight on Moderna's organizational structure?
Okay, thank you. So being lean, I think we need to be very, very transparent. There is no space for holding back information just to yourself. You need to share it very willingly and proactively, and that's something we try to do as a team. So we have various team groups where a lot is shared, a lot is recorded so that people can watch it again or see it later. No one is left alone without the knowledge that he or she needs to do the job right. I remember working for a very large company, and we had like lots of people. And when we get together and discuss how we can improve, they often complained that, oh, we have too few people to do the job right. So I don't think there's any end to getting enough people to do the job right. We need to change our way of thinking. We talk about, being hit by a bus, right? So if I get hit by a bus today, what will happen? Now, the reality is I might get hit by a bus and the company needs to function without me. And that's what I'm aiming to do with a lean organization and with a lean way of thinking. And talking about our structure, so Ryan, you mentioned health impact. Now, health impact is unprecedented professional. I have not seen other companies advertising, recruiting for health impact leads. But this is for us to engage with our customers, to listen in and ask, what impacts are you trying to achieve through vaccination? In case of pandemic and last year, I think people just talked about the vaccination rate. Just vaccinate, because it must be good. It is good. But down the road in the future, I believe that people will vaccinate with a specific gain in mind. And this could be, different depending on the individual or depending on the companies or municipalities. So some people may want to get vaccinated so that they can go to Hawaii. I want to get vaccinated so that I can continue to work. My productivity is important. To confess you the truth, I'm also quite afraid of long COVID. And I read these papers which say, with long COVID, your cognition decays by 20 years and your IQ drops by 10 points, and that's really scary. So I need to protect my health, my mind and body. And some people say municipalities may want to make sure that the bed occupancy for respiratory diseases is well managed in order to avoid health system collapse. Employer may want to make sure that there is an infrastructure and health system within the company. We call this health security within the company, so that employees can continue to work productively and healthily and minimize time off sick or due to care. So anyhow, we are now listening in to these voices, and once we establish what impacts our customers are wanting to create, then we agree how to measure it. That will become our core-owned KPI, and we longitudinally follow these KPIs. That's the concept. Is that clear?
I'm probably still wrapping my head around the concept, but I'm beginning to see the functionality of that team. Another question similarly is particularly around the commercial organization. A viewer is asking about plans to expand oncology and cardiology, and specifically the commercial organization. So what's your vision for commercial expansion in the future, particularly with oncology and cardiology?
Yeah, this is going to be down the road, maybe a few years down the road. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, my vision is that pharmaceutical companies will become more and more digital and medical. I do not see the time in the future where so-called medical reps are standing in the corridor for many hours to be seen. Mm-hmm. I do not see doctors prescribing just because the doctor likes a medical reps or has seen that face today. It's going to be much more scientifically vigorous and will be monitored in that way. Mm-hmm. So from that perspective, I see a strong digital and medical team. And as for commercial activities, my belief is that it's going to be driven by health impacts activities. That said, we need to make sure that those doctors who are not digitally able, they're not left without necessary information. So I see that there are some medical reps or human interaction that are required.
Okay, very interesting. So clearly a lot of twists and turns in the evolution of the company, and who knows what tomorrow is going to bring. But I'd also like to offer you this moment, Rami, to share with our audience. Of course, we are an executive search firm, so this is through the lens of recruitment and attracting talent. And I would like to give you this opportunity to send any message to the public. We have about 70 people watching this live right now, and surely another 300 plus that probably want to watch later on. We will have a recording available for the attendees who couldn't make it today. But what kind of message would you like to amplify through this platform to potential employees, to potential partners, to healthcare professionals? This is a moment to you to amplify whatever message you would like to Japan.
First of all, I like all of you to stay strong. It's been very tough last few years, and I fear that COVID-19 new cases is rising, and we may have tough winter coming. Vaccine will protect you. It will protect your family and loved ones. So I urge you to make sure that you are protected. So with that, if I am to share my key messages to executive headhunters like yourself, I guess my comment would be that we want to continue to learn from you. Clearly, Moderna is different. You know, the typical pharmaceutical executive may not quite fit. Moderna is not for everyone. I know that some of my friends, it is important for them that they have many direct reports. For example, 2 years ago, I had 50. This year, I have 60. Next year, I might have 100. That's a major motivation driver. Moderna isn't like that. So it's not right for large organization thinking people. Moderna also requires English fluency, much more maybe than other pharmaceutical companies in Japan. We very much welcome diversity, not only in gender. So we are now 56% female in Moderna Japan. But I'm not just talking about gender, nationalities, age, more diverse and inclusive, the better. Mm-hmm. Today, we have a university intern from India. She's fluent in English and Japanese and computer program. We also have a gentleman who's retired from a large pharmaceutical company, having retired after the whole, post 60. So he's now reporting to a young lady in her 30s. Now, Moderna is very dynamic, and we're definitely different from conventional pharmaceutical hierarchy.
Thank you. And speaking of diversity, this is not the focus of today's conversation, but certainly a relevant point. And Rami, you're clearly a very admired leader in the industry, and you are a woman, and several of our viewers are asking you for some inspiration about how they too can become a leader in this industry as a woman. And I recently looked at the Reuters event in September. The list of speakers, it's about 15 of them, and you were maybe the only woman on that list. So what would be your message to other aspiring women leaders in the industry to balance out that gender equity?
Yeah, in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot more work to do on gender balance in Japan. But I tell you, it's definitely getting better. So I do quite a lot of government work. So I advise and I am a part of various committees. Say 10 years ago, I would typically be the only woman out of 20. I would be the only person sitting there, the youngest. And people say, well, don't be so nervous. You could be wrong. It's okay for you to be ignorant. That kind of conversation was considered normal. Now I am pleasantly surprised that many of my committees, 50% are women, Japanese women. No foreigners yet. So that's another, diversity Japan needs to grow into. And so now we have 50% women, high caliber committees, and discuss many important things. Do we have any problem? No. We have very vibrant, highly intelligent, well-charged discussion. And what interests me more is those gentlemen, the typical Japanese elderly gentleman who's been doing this committee forever, they enjoy it. They like the diversity, they're learning, they're laughing, and they're being much more proactive in the discussion than they were 10 years ago when it was like all men and just me. I have been in these committees for many years. I can see the progression, the growth, or the direction of these changes, which is quite interesting. So anyway, the key message to women who wants to advance the career, just do it, right? But do take your time to think what you want to achieve, how you want to do it. I guess this is a message not only to women, but also to men. I think the clearer your vision of what you want to do and how you want to be, who you want to be, the clear visions will accelerate your growth.
Absolutely, Rami. I really love that. And that brings me to my last comment, and that is we're here to have conversations with people to help you find that clarity. We're not just here to introduce a job description, but to build a relationship with you for the long term. Our team has been in the market for an average of 10 years, each consultant, so we're able to really give you insights to help you find that clarity, whether you're mid-career or late career, or a client, a decision maker like you, Rami, who's also looking to find a distinct breed of talent in the market for whatever kind of role that you're looking to fill. So to potential candidates, we're here to talk to you casually or formally, and potential clients, decision makers as well, whether that's on the record or offline. Let's have a conversation about what your vision is for your team, for your career, and we can help to bring clarity to that and bring you options as well. So thank you very much, Rami, for your precious time today. You have already made a big impact on Japan and a lot more to come. And is there anything else that you would like to add, Rami?
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Ryan. And I look forward to working with you and many of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rami. And if anyone is interested in opportunities we are working on right now, you can simply go to the rgfexecutivesearch.com website or visit our LinkedIn page, RGF Executive Search Japan, to find a very small fraction of some of the opportunities we're working on. But the best opportunities are often confidential and come through just having a conversation with us. So reach out today, let's talk, and everyone take care. Thank you very much. And this concludes today's webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rami.
Bye.